Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
What goals did you set for 2025? If better sleep is one, Symbiotica's magnesium L-threonate helps you wake up refreshed. For gut health, their glutathione supports digestion and reduces bloating. Symbiotica is one of the most transparent brands out there, never compromising on quality or sourcing. Their products are free from seed oils, preservatives, toxins, and artificial additives, something you can taste and feel in every packet. Go to Symbiotica.com and use code iHeart for 20% off and free shipping. That's Symbiotica.com, code iHeart.
Doing sort stuff. Totally my favorite thing.
Hail, friend Cecilius.
Oh, friend no illusionist. What brings you to my village?
I come to ask you to join me in an epic quest of podcastery. We shall call it Citationis Needless.
Oh, friend. Though I am grateful for your offer, I have no need of such a thing. I thank you.
Aha! 'Twas a trick, for I am really Noah Zeusins, and you shall be punished for your malice. I will shackle you forever to a giant beast. All that you love will be destroyed, and
Hey,
you
Cecil,
shall be...
sorry to interrupt, but thought the iPad was toast again, and so I broke it in the toaster.
Again?
Yeah.
Again, Tom?
Why would they even make a white one? It just, and also there's a lot of jelly on your chair now. Maybe it was there earlier.
It's fine.
Ooh, thanks. Always so forgiving.
As I was saying, you will be cursed, and all your objects will be destroyed.
Yeah, I think I'll figure it out. Yeah, yeah.
Ow, Cecil! This toast is terrible.
Is it the iPad again?
No! I broke a lot of my teeth,
It's the iPad again, Tom.
Hello and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts, because this is the internet, and that's how it works now. I'm Noah, and I'm going to be performing this postmortem, but to do that, I'm going to need some assistance. First up, two men whose obituaries are all but guaranteed to contain the words "shortly after he left the bar," Cecil and Heath.
In my case, it's going to be a Toll House bar, so... Delicious.
I am also fat and drink a lot. Yeah. Probably die still inside the bar, if I'm being honest. Clutching a grilled cheese or something.
And also joining us tonight, a man who will most likely die from shoving too much sausage in his mouth, and a guy who's going to die from shoving it into a different orifice, Tom and Eli.
Oh, stupid Noah, you can't die from being this happy.
Ibid.
All right, so before we go any further, I'd like to thank all the patrons on behalf of all the non-patrons. They paid for your episode this week, guys. Maybe drop them a note and don't rely on me to remember to thank them for you, huh? And if you'd like to learn how to join their ranks, be sure to stick around to the end of the show. And with that out of the way, tell us, Heath, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
Eli is going to read off a list of so-called unusual deaths.
I hope none of them are as lame as choking on a grape. So, Eli, you were...
Was the grape ripe? I don't remember if it's ripe.
Eli, I'm sure you were already reading this for inspiration. So, are you ready to tell us someone else's lies for a change?
I sure am, Noah.
All right. So, how did people die? It's Eli's fault. He fucked up the normal format. Normally just ask the question.
Who was unusual deaths? Me. Indeed, I did. Now, regular listeners to the show will know that we love to talk about the snuffing out of human consciousness here on the Citation Needed podcast, but damn it if there aren't some stories just too short to put a whole episode on. Well, luckily, the subject of our show, Wikipedia.com, is here with a list of unusual deaths. And this list is a veritable goldmine. So much so that for this humble episode, we're able to limit ourselves just to the ancient Greeks. Now, this has two benefits. Most of these stories aren't true, and all of them are about white people. So laugh it up, everyone at home. Laugh it up.
They're definitely not straight pride parade white people, so only 3/4 laugh instead, you know?
Right. Call it 3/5. That was our fault. It was horrible. They call it 5/3. Laugh almost double at the white people.
Laugh extra.
We're the worst.
No conversation about death in ancient Greek would be complete without some mention of the deaths in ancient Greek mythology. Now, while many of us are aware of the modern, watered-down versions, the original Greek myths would give Saw a run for its money. They'd make the Brothers Grimm say, wow, you guys, really need to tone it down. Also, the original version of our stories are anti-Semitic propaganda, and not enough people acknowledge that.
Are they?
No, that's true.
Yep.
Yeah. That's also true of my Passat's owner manual, actually.
Really? Let me see that. Holy shit, page 36 for proper maintenance apply gasoline to the Reichstag. I thought you were making that part up. Holy shit.
Right, so before we get to the bullshit based on actual people, I feel like we need a quick overview of the bullshit that was based on bullshit.
And if anyone is qualified, audience, to talk about bullshit.
That is correct. Quick heads up, I'm going to use the Joseph Campbell and James Fraser version of these myths because they are the best. You might have heard different or wrong versions of these myths, but take it up with the creator of the hero's journey, you uneducated plebeians.
No. Wrong version of myths.
Right. Comparative mythology scholarship really did peak in the late 40s is what we're saying. Yeah.
Thank you. Golden bow.
My fucking junior year English teacher has such a fucking boner about this right now. Also, a whole lot in class. High school is traumatized.
All right, first up is where it all began. The origin of the gods themselves and the story of Cronus. Now, almost everyone's familiar with this.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. This origin of the gods themselves story starts with a bunch of gods in it.
That's fair.
Okay, I just want to be super clear here. All
He's
right.
a titan.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, almost everyone's familiar with this myth, but just in case you aren't, here's the short version. So Cronus overthrows his father, who is a different god, to become king of the universe. And as soon as he does, his wife Rhea tells him, hey, I got some good news, bad news on this prophecy thing. I'm going to bear you an heir, but that heir is going to kill you and take your throne just like you did to your dad. Why she didn't keep this to herself is beyond me.
Honey, good news, bad news. Bad news, the baby that I'm having is going to murder you and take your throne. That being said, good news, not a girl. And Cronus was like, yeah, we'll figure something out. That's fine.
Anyway, Cronus doesn't want that, so he eats every male child that she bears him. After a couple dozen, super awkward delivery room experiences, Rhea decides to trick him. And when she gives birth to her son Zeus, gives him a stone to swallow instead.
The king of the universe didn't know the difference between his own son and a rock, even after eating a bunch of his own babies?
Right?
Did he have his own reality show? Because it sounds a familiar story to me.
Can I get some mayo? It's very dry. Is that granite and not a baby?
Great insight to Heath that he wrote that joke with mayo instead of water.
I wouldn't have asked for mayo if I had thought about it ahead. It's gross.
Zeus grows up, probably goes to boarding school, comes back, and rips off his dad's dick.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
That's right. Mm-hmm. He doesn't punch him in the stomach. That's what you learned in school. He rips off his dick. And it's so painful that Cronus vomits out all of Zeus's brothers and sisters, who are, of course, still alive.
Better job of keeping kids alive than ice, so who are we to judge, you know?
I was just like, hey, Dad, really quick, do me a favor and take your dick out. No, I just want to show you something. It's just normal dick stuff. Just take it out.
It's the weirdest fucking thing about this story, because at this point, Cronus has never met Zeus, right? So there had to be this awkward moment there where Cronus was pretty sure he was into this. This is a Greek legend.
Yeah. So the newly vomited gods war with their brothers and sisters of Kronos and damn them to the underworld for all time, and that's how Greek mythology begins. Now, if Greek mythology has a moral, it's don't piss off the gods, which brings us to the death of Erysichthon.
Now, all I cared about in this whole essay was listening to you pronounce that, and you disappointed me.
Sorry. So, according to the myth, this greedy king refused to pay homage to the gods and even went so far as to cut down one of Demeter's sacred groves to make room for a feasting hall. As punishment, Demeter cursed him with an unquenchable hunger.
Oh, okay. Look, if we're going to do Tom's origin story, I think we should do everybody's origin story.
Erysichthon, he eats all the food he has, then all the food he can buy until he's penniless. Then he sells his children into slavery for food
Hero.
Yeah.
until finally, penniless and with no other option, he eats himself.
Caliente.
That's tricky, though. You really got to plan that out, or you kind of like, vacuum yourself into a corner.
Now, our next myth will never have you thinking the same about Pan again. Yeah, this goat-footed demon's origin is kind of like Pepe the Pew. Like, it was funny when you were a kid, and then you get older, and you're like, wait, was that cartoon about a rapist? And then
Yeah.
you're like, different time. And then you get older, and you're like, no, that cartoon was drawn by adults. And then you're sad because they were adults.
Look, man, Tom and Jerry both got dumped by their gold-digging girlfriends, and they decided to commit suicide by train. Rufy LePew is tame in comparison to that. Man. It's fair.
That's fair.
By the way, Eli, did you translate Pepe the Pew for everybody there?
He did. He did.
For those of you who
Pepe
don't
the Pew.
parlez-vous français? It's French for Pepe the Pew.
It's Peter the Smell, for those of you who you don't want to be that asshole who's like, mozzarella cheese. Yeah, it's mozzarella, Peter the Smell. Anyway, Pan is basically the Peter the Smell of mythology.
Use not a word in French.
He's always chasing around nymphs who don't want to fuck him.
She's like every John Hughes movie ever.
Exactly, yeah. So one nymph, Syrinx, gets tired of being chased around by him, and so she begs a river god to change her into something that Pan wouldn't fuck. A bunch of reeds.
He's going to figure something out. I feel like he's going to figure something out there.
I don't know. I would have gone with a plant that's not known for its hollowness right off the bat.
Yeah, he's like weaving a fleshlight.
You can bunch a few together, even if the hollowness doesn't work.
Joke's
Okay,
on him
well-
because Pan was a weed whacker. So
Oh.
Should have told Syrinx. So Pan sees his victim changed into plants, and he's so upset that he can't fuck a bunch of plants. He cuts her new form into pieces, ties them together, and swears she will never leave his side again. Thus, the birth of the pan flute.
Yeah, and then he called himself a nice guy, and he created the incel subreddit.
Also, fun fact, this is why flutes are part of the woodwind section. Reeds.
And look, if a guy playing the desiccated corpse of a woman who was trying to avoid him isn't the ultimate avatar of the god of music, I don't know what is. I don't want people to think that it was just the dude gods doing all the fucking in the Greek pantheon. No way. Which brings us to the story of Prince Ixion. So, little backstory, Hera, Zeus's wife, loved being a virgin. Every year, she'd bathe in the spring of Cathanos at Nepalia, which would magically restore the virginity of anyone who did the same.
Yeah, actually, being a 38-year-old podcaster works pretty well, too. There's a couple ways you can do that. Throw it right back.
You don't have to go to the spring. I don't get it. Do you take all the dudes that you fucked there to drown them? How does this work?
It's magic. So one year she's having her bath, getting her V card, and Prince Ixion sees her and falls madly in love with her. So much so that he refuses to marry, refuses to give birth to any heirs, because all he wants is Hera. And Zeus takes pity on him, and he's like, hey, you know what? Why don't you come up to Mount Olympus and just like hang out with us? But there's one condition. Don't fuck my wife.
He's going to figure something out.
Prince Ixion is like, oh, I would never fuck your wife. What? No, what? But Zeus doesn't believe him. So he makes a cloud that looks just like Hera, which Ixion, and I cannot emphasize this enough, immediately fucks.
Right away.
And gets pregnant. That's
Oh.
right. Ixion gets the Hera cloud pregnant.
Yeah, it's a complicated process called cloud seeding. I don't know if you guys have heard of it before.
So
Cum trails.
as vengeance, Zeus turns Ixion into a constantly flaming wheel. Don't know how he does it. And the cloud gives birth to a being known as Centaurus, who loves to fuck horses and the children of those horses and Centaurus, the cloud flaming wheel baby, is where Centaurus come from.
Yeah.
You must be making
23andMe got super confused by that one. That was tricky.
And this is your grandmother fuck cloud right here on My Family Tree.
Although Farmers Only did not get super confused by that one.
Okay, last myth, and then we'll get to the lies about the real people. So, most people have heard of Theseus and his labors, but I can almost guarantee you haven't heard the story of his fourth one, which was to kill the robber Skirion.
Nope.
So, Skirion is a robber and also a giant who lives at the top of these giant, big cliffs overlooking the den of a monstrous island-sized sea turtle. I'm not saying you should picture Tom, but you should picture Tom when you picture Skirion.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very averagely tall giant. Yeah.
Hey, shut up, Cecil. This is my one chance to be tall until my North Korean vacation.
Don't touch the poster.
Don't.
So,
Yep.
so what Skirion would do is he would stand on a narrow path nearby and refuse to let anybody by him unless they washed his feet.
What?
And since nobody wants to fight a giant, they'd be like, sure, man, I'll fucking wash your feet. But then, and again, you should really, really picture Tom here. He'd be like, you're not washing my feet fast enough. And they'd be like, okay. And they'd wash faster. He'd be like, still not fast enough. And then they'd kick them in the face over the cliff, and their body would get eaten by a giant turtle.
Hey, I thought we weren't kink shaming on the show. You guys said no kink shaming on the show.
One of Theseus's labors is to like kill this guy. So Theseus comes up with a cunning plan.
Does he, though?
He goes up to Skirion and he's like, hey man, sweet feet. Can I wash them? And Skirion is like, that's fucking crazy. That's like my whole thing. That's amazing.
Eli, seriously? Fucking bring it in. Look into my goddamn heart.
I'm with you.
If this does not end with a giant getting tickled to death, I am going to be fucking furious. I need this to be a tickle death so goddamn badly.
It's close. It's really close. So
Change it.
So Theseus is washing the feet. He's doing an amazing job. And Skirion, he doesn't even have any notes. But he keeps telling Skirion, he's like, hey, can you extend your feet a little more? And Skirion's like, yeah, man, you're doing a great job washing my feet. And so Skirion's like, a little bit more just because I'm trying to get the ankle. And Skirion's like, yeah, man, you're doing great. And Skirion's like, a little bit more. And then Theseus is like, a little bit more. And he's really trying to get the ankle just a little bit more. And Skirion does. And then, like Wile E. Coyote, Skirion looks down and realizes he has scooched himself off the cliff and falls to his death and gets eaten by a giant turtle.
Sounds like what he needed was a footbridge.
When he fell, Eli, did he leave a cloud of dust in the air? Like when he fell? It's like, poof.
Held up a sign before he fell.
Eep. Yeah.
All right. Well, I need a break from these stories because nope, I am not saying that.
You said I could write a joke, and this is my joke.
Oh, all right. I need a break from these stories because they're all Greek to me. So while I wash my mouth out with comedy soap, we're going to take a quick break for a little something we call Apropos of Nothing.
Noah Zeusen.
Nailed it. Welcome back to Sigma Nunu. I'm Wolf Blitzer, and I'm exactly 41 years old right now. Another powerful man brought down this week by the V2 movement. Zeus, god of thunder. We turn now to Carol Costello with more.
Thanks, Wolf. I'm here with God of Thunder, Zeus. Zeus, you've been accused of turning wood nymphs that refuse your advances into trees, birds, and it says here even reeds. Are these accusations true?
Absolutely not. These nymphs are all lying. A bunch of liars.
You can understand how people would find it hard to believe that 432 nymphs that don't know each other all are lying.
Yep. I agree. That's pretty odd. Weird.
There's also several plays and songs and poems that all report this kind of behavior. So it just...
Exaggerations.
And of course, you were caught on tape saying, let me quote it here. I just got it here. It says, gonna fuck me a nymph or straight up turn her into some weird shit.
Locker room talk. It's just
okay.
Guys
All right.
when they get together.
Before we began recording, you asked me on a date and threatened to turn me into a goat if I said no. I don't know if you remember that. I did record.
I do. I am Polyamorous.
Well, we may never know who to believe. Next up in the Money Hour is touching stuff, the key to retiring early. According to King Midas, the answer is yes. Stay tuned.
And we're back. When we last left off, it was a downright fucking massacre. Eli, tell us about some more dead guys.
Excellent. So, with a mythology like that, you know these bullshits are gonna be primo. So, for the second half of the show, we're gonna be talking exclusively about the deaths of real people. Now, are these stories true? Absolutely fucking not. So, first up, we have the death of Draco the Lawgiver.
Okay, all right. If that's not a young adult fantasy name, I don't know what is. Jesus Christ, Draco the Lawgiver?
Yeah, so the first recorded legislator in Athens, Draco replaced the somewhat codified system of blood feud with a written code and a court of law. And, according to legend, he was so popular that his supporters, quote, threw so many hats, shirts, and cloaks on his head that he suffocated and was buried in that same theater.
Oh, okay, but like hats on hats. 3 hats in, they're intentionally killing him at that point, right?
Yeah, at that point, it's a hat trick, right?
So the truth is sadly the opposite of the story.
They took his hats to death.
Not the opposite. Okay, he was driven out of Athens because people liked blood feuds, damn it, and he died on a nearby island.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what they say, exile can really take a toll. Toll is a kind of island.
There's a shit tits. There's a primo fucking shit tits right
say
there.
it out loud. So,
Yeah, still, that story had to be kind of awkward in practice, right?
Okay, thank you, everybody. That's enough. That's enough. I really appreciate it. I really do. Okay, no, honestly, guys, this is really sweet, but that is quite enough cloaks and hats and all that stuff. Honestly, okay, seriously, that's enough. That's enough. That is enough. I'm not returning these after. We're not doing like a come get your hat thing afterwards. That's gonna take for like logistically. That's just ridiculous. That would take so long, and people would take other people's, and then I would be kind of liable for the whole. We're not doing. Stop it. Okay, I know. I really appreciate it, but no, this is fine. Okay, seriously now. No, it's too many hats. It's getting stuffy.
All right, next up is the death of Chandrus of Sicily. Now, Charondus. So next up is the death of Charondus.
Yeah, you better get this one right because you didn't get anything wrong. Yeah,
say,
about 1,000.
You just heard my note for the first time. It's not the first time I said it, Eli.
You didn't add any letters. That's cool.
Yeah. So next up is the death of Charondus of Sicily. Charondus is the
my Charondus.
Yeah, exactly. He is the originator of the codified dowry laws, according to Aristotle. But his biggest contribution was to ban weapons from the assembly, which I think we can all agree was a terrible, terrible mistake.
Yeah, I think if Congress people like right now would all wear those like oversized boxing gloves and like the sumo suits from a carnival and just fight it out, America would watch C-SPAN and become politically literate. I really think we would.
No, I think so.
yeah.
And Mike Tyson would be president. Everyone wins. So months after passing the law that anyone who brought a weapon to Congress would be put to death, he enters the building wearing a hunting knife that he'd forgotten about. And upon noticing his ironic error, Chandrus promptly commits suicide to stay consistent.
Oh, man, if only Charlton Heston would have done the same thing with that rifle he brought into the NRA rally, right? God.
Yeah, I feel like Americans would pay good money to watch James Inhofe commit suicide via snowballs also.
Yep.
But Charondus wasn't the only person who the law done dirty. Sisymenes was a Persian judge who was flayed alive for taking a bribe. His skin was used to make a new judicial seat, which was occupied uncomfortably by his son.
Yeah, it was a Adirondack chair. A joke so good, I guarantee someone will riff off it later. Someone is going to riff off that amazing joke later, I guarantee.
Pretty amazing
That's
joke.
so good.
I also
Guaranteed.
think it's like something that I don't want the airlines to hear about, right? Because how long before you're paying an upgrade to get out of the flayed Persian skin seat into a cloth one, right?
I'd pay more for the... No, whatever. Everybody has their own...
Is there a
Like, I feel like
like,
Persian makes it worse. I didn't mean to comment on the race of the skin.
They'll sit on any skin. We've said this.
Any skin, right? I'm just positive on a skin seat. I feel like I got tricked
Just a
into
big
that.
fan of human
Heath is a
leather.
murderer, not a racist.
Thank you. What?
And speaking of Greeks, no list of weird death would be complete without the apocryphal story of Pythagoras' death. Now, Pythagoras, as many of you will know, was almost as big a fan of triangles as he was with having sex with kids. He also believed that beans were tiny people.
Yeah. In Spain, those little plants would say, yo, soybeans. Yo, soybeans.
Absolutely not.
It's,
Hold
Absolutely
on.
not.
In Pakistan, they would join. What would they join, guys? Al Qaeda Mame.
But you're going for Talabine.
I thought hummus, but yeah, okay, all right.
Okay, there you go.
Get killed by a Navy SEAL Team 6. Navy.
Yeah, sure. So,
Get shot in the kidney. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
so mostly because of the kid fucking.
Garbons.
So mostly because of the kid
Great
fucking.
White Northern beans.
So mostly because of the kid fucking part, the legend goes he's being chased around town by people who want to kill him, and he comes upon a bean field. But he thinks they're little people, so since he'd rather die than step on a field of babies, P-Dog just turns around, gets murdered.
I'm sorry, but does getting beaten to death by a crowd qualify as an unusual death for this list?
Also, you didn't mention that Pythagoras got hanged using the hypotenuse.
oh.
Hypotenuse.
You got
C
that off the
squared.
side of like a Dixie cup. I refuse.
It was a popsicle. Don't be a dick.
I liked it, Heath. I liked
Thank
it,
you.
Heath. It was very good.
So that
That's
brings
my
me to the
popsicle.
death of Greek playwright Aeschylus. Now, the story goes that the father of tragedy and the author of the Orestia had confined himself indoors for fear of a prophecy that he would be killed by a falling object. He was eventually convinced to go for just a short walk, if only for his health.
Hey, Dad, you can't just like sit in your recliner all day right there under the anvil chandelier. You got to like go out and get some sun or something.
No poetry in the obvious, son. I've never been safer. Hey, you haven't fucked your mother or anything recently, have you?
That'd be weird.
Yeah,
So why would you even ask?
So, according to the story, while he's on his walk, a vulture carrying a tortoise mistook his bald head for a rock suitable for shattering the shell, as certain vultures are known to do, and he was killed instantly.
yeah, and earlier that day he found a fly in his Chardonnay, right? Is that what happened?
Maybe the only thing that I'm going to learn today is that vultures evidently fly around carrying tortoises just in case there's a boulder or a playwright on an amble.
So next up is my soulmate and someone I truly empathize with, Empedocles.
Nope.
So Empedocles was so enraptured by his own talent, because he was Keats, that in his later work he wrote that he actually believed he had ascended to the status of a divine being. He was so brilliant. And to prove this to himself and others, he threw himself into an active volcano. He was mistaken. He was not.
It was also Empedocles, but yeah.
He gets up there. He's standing next to Frodo. He's like, "Oh, hey, what are you guys doing? You doing fuck it? You want to go Thelma and Louise on it?"
Now, I should point out there are a lot of legends about how Sophocles died. According to one, the author of Oedipus Rex and Antigone died of choking on an unripe grape.
Does the ripeness change things for anyone? Is that
Made it thousands of years through history, so I'm going to repeat it. In another, he died of joy after hearing his last play had taken first place in the Greek Forum, making the first and last time in history anyone cared about the literary prizes. So that was interesting.
That was the Edda Pulitzer.
But my favorite story about Sophocles' death is that he was murdered by a long sentence. According to the legend, an actor complained that one of the lines in Antigone was too long and demanded a place to take a breath. Sophocles attempted to demonstrate delivery of the line without taking a breath and suffocated.
Yeah, if that was true, then anyone who ever read Kant aloud died from it. You know?
Yeah.
Right. And James Joyce died somewhere during the one sentence that he wrote during his career of books.
Yeah. In his career, yeah.
Any day now, yeah. Okay, this next one, again, hits a little too close to home for us here on the podcast. According to legend, the Greek comedian Antiphanes once stopped a performance to demand the audience stop
How
throwing
about
apples at
Antiphanes?
him.
Can you just say Antiphanes? Try that.
Antiphanes.
There you go.
It
There
has
you go.
Tiffany in it. You know Tiffany's.
Yeah.
Anyways, he stopped a performance to demand that the audience stop throwing apples at him and show him some respect. He was then struck in the head by a pear, which killed him.
There used to be another guy in Citation Needed until we did the Scotland show. And then he got hit with a pear and he's dead now. Yeah.
But at least he died funny.
Yeah.
Now, the Greek tyrant Agathocles was killed with a poisoned toothpick.
Oh, not even close.
Also, for being a guy who uses a toothpick. Gross, floss at home.
Okay.
This next one,
Weird
I can just
stance.
read right from the Wikipedia page. So
I know,
here we
right?
go. Quote,
Big slam on toothpicks out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Philetus of Kos, a Greek intellectual, is said by Athenaeus to have studied arguments and erroneous word usage so intensely that he wasted away and starved to death. End quote.
Yeah, and this is literally the only way to die that you can't get Vegas odds on.
So modern historians agree that this story is not true and that he is on this podcast.
No Illusions is the last Etruscan.
Next up, philosopher and Stoic Chrysippus. He dies of every Stoic's nightmare, emotion. The legend goes that Chrysippus, who was largely credited for early propositional logic, became obsessed with someone stealing the figs he was growing to present at the upcoming Olympics. The morning of the Olympics, he wakes up to find not a thief, but a donkey chowing down on his figs. And according to the story, he began to laugh uncontrollably and demanded the donkey be brought his best wine to wash the figs down. He died, at least according to legend, shortly after of laughing too hard. Quick side note, this is one of the only stories we have that immediately corrects itself. This legend comes from the writings of Chrysippus' nephew, who in the same manual as the story adds a postscript that literally is just like, I'm just kidding. He drank some bad wine. It was pretty sad when my uncle died.
That's not enough obituaries at a psych, really, which is a shame. It's a shame. It almost always works in those
Okay,
instances.
pact now. We do that for each of us, okay? We
Deal.
It's always been my hope that somebody will just love me enough to lie about how I die. That's family to me.
Yeah,
Like,
right?
also, you guys, I have an appendix in the back of my will for cover stories. So just one that- out of the list.
You guys want to do a tontine? The thing where we all put in money and then the last person alive gets it all?
No, I don't want to play a dying game with you, Heath. I've seen you
Well,
play
I
Yes.
100%
100%
Yes.
want to do that.
Murder
Yes.
game. Let's go.
Yes.
How you get
I
mine.
100% want to do that. $5,000.
Yeah.
For
I'm in for
$5,000
$5
start.
grand.
Yeah, $5,000 start. And in fact, once Eli's gone, let's just split his money. How's that?
And then end the game.
That's fair.
So we just take, just
feel
write
like we
us a
should
check.
check for fucking, $1,200.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
50. Yeah.
Just get you guys ahead of time, save us all some money. So next up comes the only lady on our list. Ooh, Portia Catonis, wife of Brutus of Stabby Stabby fame. She is said to
That's
have committed
Roman,
suicide by
though.
swallowing hot coals, which historians agree is almost certainly untrue because gross. How would you even gross?
She just put the coal in peanut butter like a dog taking a pill. Turned into a diamond. That doesn't work, by the way.
No.
No, it does not.
Nope, it does not. Got another pear-related death for you. According to the historian Suetonius, the son of Emperor Claudius, died as a child trying to catch a pear in his mouth on a bet. According to the legend, he succeeded, but choked to death on the pear.
That's 2 fucking Romans in a row. You're
Yep.
not even trying
Yep.
anymore.
Not even
Eli.
trying.
Ancient Greeks, ancient Romans, blah, 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 blah.
Same thing. Why don't you do an Etruscan now? Let's just do an Etruscan while we're here.
So the death of Emperor Tiberius,
Also not a Greek. The word
Yep.
emperor should
Not-
be a dead giveaway
not-
here.
they had emperors. So his murder was only partially unusual. It was only unusual because of the circumstances. Tiberius had been ill for months, and when he finally passed, the political structure heaved a sigh of relief that at last they could anoint his totally not about to go crazy successor, Caligula. Now, unfortunately, in the middle of the coronation proceedings, Tiberius miraculously recovers, leaving the empire with 2 simultaneous emperors. Now, this situation caused people in
Greek
attendance
ones or Roman? I don't.
to literally
Yeah, it doesn't matter, Tom. Doesn't matter.
flee from the room for fear of either emperor's wrath. But luckily, a quick-thinking prefect named Marco sprang into action and smothered Tiberius with his bedclothes.
Hey, congratulations, you're alive. Hats and weighted blankets. Whee!
And finally, we conclude our journey through mortal antiquity with St. Lawrence, who was roasted alive
St.
on
Lawrence?
a giant grill during the persecution of Valerian. According to legend, halfway through his execution, Lawrence told his oppressors, quote, "Turn me over, I'm done on this side." End quote. He is now the patron saint of cooks and comedians.
Okay, actually, that last part is true. I looked it up. He's the patron saint of cooks and the poor, but I mean, kind of tomato there. It's
Yeah. You know that amazing Greek name Lawrence is such a great Greek name. Very
Yes,
traditional.
Larry the Greek. Yeah. All right. Well, Eli, you ran out of Greeks a while ago. You want to move on to Byzantines, or are you ready to just summarize this in one sentence?
If you tell lies from history, you can't get in trouble.
There you go. Okay.
Bullshit.
not true.
And are you ready for the quiz?
Bring on this yik yak.
All right, here we go. Eli, which rapper loves Greek food the most? A. Easy Eros. B. two Bach Lava. C.
Phenomenal.
Ice Pita. Or D. Jay Zeke.
Oh, okay. There we go. I see. I wasn't getting that one. I'm going to go with two baklava.
Oh, sure. I guess. Yes.
Yay.
All right, Eli, you were making fun of the reptilian scenic overlook of my summer home. Joke's on you, though. Why? A, I didn't have to shell out a lot for that property. B, I won it in a...
Shell. I didn't catch it at first. Shell.
B, I won that in a lawsuit. Tort is the name of the game. Or C,
Tort.
something terrapin.
No, that's not. No.
I'm getting better at this. D,
Yeah,
a different clever answer. Almost
Yep.
2 out of 4.
C's bad.
D, these are
No,
hard
so-
and designed around 2 of our cast members.
All right, one more question for you. So today we learned about a chair for a political leader made of his dad's skin called the Adirondack chair, which is fantastic as a name of a company of chairs. Which of the following is that company's top competitor? Is it A, the Flazy Boy?
I like that one.
B, the most dangerous Game of Thrones? This is a book called it's a short story. The most dangerous game is you hunt humans. And then in my thing for B, you're hunting the human and then making it into a throne of their skin.
Yeah.
Got it.
Does everybody have it?
I love it, Heath. It's amazing. I think it's great. They're wrong. They're
Or
wrong.
was it C? Fuck all you guys. The Jared Kushner.
There we go. That's a good
I
one.
love
C, Jared Kushner.
no,
Gotta be
it's
that.
it's secret answer D. They're all harm chairs.
Oh.
It was D. So I win, I believe, right?
Yeah, that is correct, Heath. You are the winner this week, and you get to. You can't. No, that isn't it. You're not announcing yourself as
That's
the
not
I
how
would
it
like to
works.
choose
host and
myself for next week. I'm going
Great.
to
You're gonna also
Do it.
be the essayist.
Yes.
All right, sure. Why not?
It's a solo
This makes
episode.
sense.
It's his solo project next week. Hello, everyone.
Bill
I just
Belichick
light up a
next week.
cigarette, start slowly vamping. One man show.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll get that sorted out eventually. For Cecil, Eli, Heath, and Tom, I'm Noah. Thanking you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week, and by then, Heath will be an expert on something else. Not sure who's going to introduce him, but somebody will. Between now and then, you can hear more from Tom and Cecil on the Cognitive Dissonance podcast, and you can hear more from Eli, Heath, and me on all the other podcasts that aren't that one. If you'd like to help keep this show going, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod, or leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can. And if you want to get in touch with us, check out past episodes, to connect with us on social media, or check the show notes, be sure to check out citationpod.com.
Okay, seriously, guys, it's way too many hats and capes. That's like, we have a coat check, just it's so many. The coat check's right by the entrance. Stop it. It was a whole thing to set up. We did the coat check. I didn't want to, but we did it. We're paying the guy. Seriously, ow! Seriously, what a top hat.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/get started. That's GREENLIGHT.com/get started.